every year, in the middle of the Omer, I often sit down and I hear a beautiful, mind-blowing idea about how you can use this time of year in the most amazing way. Each day you can work on a different thing, grow yourself, be a bigger person. Unbelievable. I always find myself thinking, why are you only saying this now? I wish you would have started at the beginning of the Omer, and then I would have been able to actually follow the program. It's like walking in the middle of a seminar. And then I find myself saying, well, it's okay, because there's always next year. So if you're watching this before the Omer, then great. But if you're watching during the Omer, I guess there's always next year. But there's a beautiful idea I want to share with you, and that's related to this process of counting. There are two ways to count. There's counting to find out how many you have, and then there's counting to kind of connect all the different things that you're counting back to an original source, to connect them, to share a commonality between those two things, between those two or many more things. Now, when we're counting in Torah, the attitude is we're counting, we're looking at all the different things in the world around us and connecting it back to our source. Now, in the counting that we're doing now, which is between Pesach and Shavuot, we're doing a similar thing, but how so? Now, when you think about this in the following way, there's a beautiful, beautiful paradigm shift that you can go through. The Gemara in Brachos talks about this idea that when a person gathers in their crops from the field, they're supposed to make a blessing that asks Hashem that their crops should be a tremendous, bountiful year. But the Gemara says very significantly, if you've measured how many crops you've already harvested, you can't say that special prayer because you know how many there are already. But hang on a minute. The prayer is that my crop should be bountiful, should be multiplied. But once I've measured it, once I've given a number as to how much they are, then you can't make that same prayer anymore. And the explanation given is quite simple when you think about it. Before you've measured it, you don't know how many's there. You can pray to God that a miracle should take place, that you should have more than what naturally you actually have. But once you've measured it, once you've put a number on it, to then pray for a miracle would actually be a revealed miracle. Before you know how many there, it's a hidden miracle. You don't know how much it's multiplied. Once you've measured it, once you've put a number, it's now entered into the realm of the measurable, the tangible, that which can't change unless there's an open, overt miracle. The Gemara is telling us, not just don't pray on things that you already know. You already know what your exam results are. Don't pray. You did the exam already. There's nothing you can do now. The Gemara is telling us how we're supposed to look at the world. Until you've put some boundary on it, until you've put a measure on it, miracles can happen. We live in a realm, a world where miracles are happening the whole time. That's what nature is. And a person who looks around the world, sees all those different things and sees the unity behind them, connects them back to that original source, is able to live in a world where they see that taking place. They live in a world where there's no boundaries, limitations. By the way, Mitzrayim, Meitzarim, Mitzrayim, Egypt, the Hebrew word that represents what Mitzrayim and Egypt is also the word Meitzarim, which is boundaries, borders, limitations. We broke free from that. We came out of those borders. We broke the borders. How did we do that? We broke the laws of nature. The Jewish people came into a new reality. Now, just to cap it off with the cherry on top, the end of the Haggadah. If you're still awake at that point, unbelievable. The end of the Haggadah, we sing a song, Echad Mi Yodea, where we connect back every single number. We say what's special about that number and then connect it back to its root. Echad Mi Yodea. Who knows one? Who knows two? And each time we go back to one until we get to number 13. Why 13? Because 13 is the numerical value of the Hebrew word Echad, one. It's totally encompassing the unity that actually we're supposed to see in all the different features of creation. And when we connect the dots to build a bigger picture, we see God behind everything. That is the process of Jewish counting. And that's the process of counting from Pesach till Shavuot, where ultimately we have that deep connection and relationship with Hashem when we received the Torah. Chag Sameach.